Hello everyone, my greetings to one and all. This is the 8th session of Balance of Payments. In the previous 2 sessions, you have understood about the fixed exchange rate system, its advantages and disadvantages. I am Poonam Vohra from Idioped Economics Learning Center. This session focuses on flexible exchange rate system. That is, exchange rate gets decided by the market forces of demand and supply. Let's understand how is it done. Flexible exchange rate system. It refers to a system in which the value of currency is allowed to adjust freely or to float as determined by the market forces of demand for and supply of foreign exchange. There is no government intervention in the foreign exchange market, hence it is also known as floating exchange rate system. Every country has foreign transactions in goods, services and capital. These transactions involve payments and receipts in foreign currency. Payments in foreign exchange result in demand for foreign exchange and receipts in foreign exchange result in supply of foreign exchange. Now assess yourself and identify whether the following statement is true or false. Demand for domestic goods and domestic demand for goods are same. It's a false statement. Demand for domestic goods is the sum total of demand for goods by domestic country and foreign countries, whereas domestic demand is the sum total of demand for domestic and foreign goods. Demand for foreign exchange. One needs to understand that payment in foreign exchange results in demand for foreign exchange, and payment is made when there are imports from rest of the world, whether it is goods or services. Payments are made when Indian tourists go abroad to meet their expenses, when foreign workers earn income and send their income to their families in their parent company, that is remittances by foreigners working in India, as well as remittances by multinational corporations in the form of profits and dividends to be sent to their parent country. Then remittances by foreign institutional investors in the form of selling shares on Indian Stock Exchange and get payment to be sent to their parent company, or extension of loans to foreigners. Payment is required when financial assets are purchased abroad, or gifts sent abroad, or when there is speculation on the value of currencies. One must also understand that there exists inverse relationship between price of foreign exchange and its demand. This inverse relationship is shown diagrammatically when quantity demanded of foreign exchange is taken on x-axis and price of foreign exchange in terms of rupees is taken on y-axis, and demand for foreign exchange is downward sloping. Now, why does there exist inverse relationship? Let's understand that also. Now, when price of foreign exchange rises, imports become costlier and demand for imports fall, and hence demand for foreign currency falls. When price of foreign exchange rises, domestic goods become cheaper for foreign buyers because they can now buy more from one unit of foreign currency. As a result, demand for exports rise, leading to increase in the supply of foreign currency. It also makes traveling and investment to rest of the world very expensive, and hence demand falls. So, opportunity cost of holding foreign currency in terms of domestic currency tends to rise. Accordingly, demand for foreign currency tends to shrink. So there exists inverse relationship between price of foreign exchange and its demand. Now have a look at these two statements and identify whether they are true or false. A. Demand for foreign exchange implies inflow of foreign exchange. And B. The rising demand for foreign goods implies higher demand for foreign exchange. Please check your answers. A is a false statement. Demand for foreign exchange implies outflow and not inflow of foreign exchange. And for statement B, that is true. The rising demand for foreign goods imply greater imports and hence higher demand for foreign exchange. Supply of foreign exchange. One must understand that receipt in foreign exchange results in supply of foreign exchange. And receipt in foreign exchange is when exports of goods and services takes place to rest of the world. When foreign tourists spend foreign exchange in India. When there are remittances by the Indian workers abroad as they earn in foreign currency and send their income to their families in India. When there is foreign direct investment by multinational corporations as foreign exchange flows in the country. When there is purchase of stocks by foreign institutional investors, or when non-resident Indians deposit in Indian banks, or when currency dealers and speculators cause flow of foreign currency in the domestic market. One must also understand that there exists a direct relationship between price of foreign exchange and its supply, which is shown diagrammatically when quantity supplied of foreign exchange is taken on x-axis and price of foreign exchange in terms of rupees is taken on y-axis. The direct relationship is shown by the upward sloping supply curve. Let's understand the reason for direct relationship between price of foreign exchange and its supply. If price of foreign exchange goes up, quantity of foreign exchange supplied also goes up, and if price falls, quantity also falls. Rise in foreign exchange implies appreciation of foreign currency in relation to domestic currency. It causes rise in supply due to the following situation. That is, appreciation induces foreign direct investment as well as foreign institutional investment because now 1 unit of foreign currency converts into more units of the domestic currency. It implies depreciation of the domestic currency and induces exports from the domestic economy. It increases not only direct purchases by non-residents in the domestic economy but also remittances from abroad in the domestic economy as the purchasing power of foreign currency rises. Accordingly, supply of foreign currency rises. Identify whether the following statement is true or false. Greater flow of foreign exchange from rest of the world always indicates higher level of development of the domestic economy. This is a false statement because greater flow of foreign exchange may be because of borrowings from rest of the world. So it is not necessarily true that greater flow of foreign exchange means higher level of development of the domestic economy. So it is a false statement. Let us understand the process of the determination of equilibrium exchange rate. The exchange rate gets decided by the market forces of demand and supply. Let us have a look at the diagram. As we have understood earlier also, that quantity demanded and supplied of foreign exchange is taken on x-axis, and price of foreign exchange in terms of rupees is taken on y-axis. We have understood that demand for foreign exchange has inverse relationship with price and hence downward sloping. Supply of foreign exchange has positive relationship with its price and hence it is upward sloping. And this is known that equilibrium price gets decided where demand equates supply of foreign exchange, which is at point R. Correspondingly, the equilibrium price is OH and quantity demanded and supplied at this price is OM. Let us understand what happens when the price is much above the equilibrium exchange rate. Suppose price is OT, it means there is excess supply which is equivalent to BC. Now this will push down the rate of exchange. So Indian rupee tends to appreciate. So there is extension in demand from point B to point R and contraction in supply from C to R. This process continues till the equilibrium is attained at point R. Now suppose price is much below the equilibrium point, that is OG. At OG there will be excess demand equivalent to DE. Excess demand will pull up the rate of exchange. So Indian rupee tends to depreciate so there will be contraction in demand from E towards R. At the same time, there will be expansion in supply from D to R. And this process continues till equilibrium is attained at point R. So equilibrium exchange rate is finally decided at price OH. Now read this partial information. Using the clues as given, complete it. The current account trade deficit occurs when the value of imports dash the value of exports. As a result, there will be a net dash of money from a country's circular flow. Hence, a rising current account deficit leads to dash of nation's currency in the foreign exchange markets. Therefore, in the currency market, there will be an dash. This might lead to dash in the current value of the currency. In a flexible system, this is called a dash. The net trade deficit might have also been caused by a dash in the value of exports, which will cause an dash for a currency, and this will also lead to a dash. Clues are remains same or exceeds, outflow or inflow, increased or decreased supply or demand, fall or rise, depreciation or appreciation, rising or falling, inward or outward shift in the demand or supply, drop or rise. Please check your answer. The current account trade deficit occurs when the value of imports exceeds the value of exports. As a result, there will be a net outflow of money from country's circular flow. Hence, a rising current account deficit leads to an increased supply of a nation's currency in the foreign exchange market. Therefore, in the currency market, there will be an increase in supply. This might lead to fall in the external value of the currency. In a flexible system, this is called a depreciation. The rising net trade deficit might have also been caused by a drop in the value of exports. which will cause an inward shift in the demand for a currency. This will also lead to a depression. I hope you have understood the entire process of flexible exchange rate system. That is how a exchange rate of any currency gets determined by demand and supply forces. With this, the session comes to an end. The next session would focus on advantages and disadvantages of flexible exchange rate system. Till then, keep reading, keep learning, and keep yourself updated.